My bad. But we're here. We were gonna come here anyway. I just wanted to sell stuff first, but like, wow.
I feel tired.
I
Good
bet
work.
you're tired.
Nice to see I haven't lost my intuition for people. Not many would have managed to set out to the Stolen Lands and return with the Stag Lord's head, but I knew you could handle it. Congratulations are in order. Today, you'll receive the title of Baron before the High Society of Restall.
Aw, yeah.
And even Natalia Sertova personally. God's bless her. Tomorrow, you'll be able to return to the Stolen Lands if you wish, but this time as a ruler. But matters of state can wait. For now, enjoy this feast in your honor. All the city leaders are here. It's a great opportunity to make some useful connections.
You ever feel like whenever Jamandi talks, it's all just like a schmoozy ploy? Like, I never feel genuine, like, attitude from her, ever. It's like it's a performance the whole time.
Speaking of connections, let me introduce you to Kasil Eldori. He's my adopted son and apprentice. He's a trustworthy man. I'd like to send him with you as an envoy.
Casil, a young half-orc with impeccable poise, performs a textbook-perfect bow. Jamandi, what kind of game are you playing? I think I have a right to know.
Yes, you certainly have that right. But tell me, how well do you know Brevoy's history or the current political atmosphere? It won't be an easy explanation.
What do I need to know about the history of Brevoy?
What's now called Brevoy was originally two different countries, Rostland and Issia. 200 years ago, they were stuck in constant squabbles. Then, Coral the Conqueror showed up and united the two states into one. Such diplomatic tricks are easy to manage when you have dragons at your disposal. The so-called noble houses of Brevoy, mainly Sertova, Orlovsky, and Lebeda, once ruled over Issia. We, the Aldori, ruled Rostland. The royal house Rogarvia, founded by Coral the Conqueror, forced us into obedience. But 200 years isn't long enough to make peace with such a troubled history. Even 2,000 years wouldn't be enough for us to accept Issian rule. Brevoy is a country held together by a thread, and that thread grows ever weaker.
What do I need to know about the current political atmosphere?
We, the Aldori and the great noble houses, spent 200 years under the rule of invaders, the royal house Rogarvia. We plotted, we schemed, we stabbed each other in the back, but open confrontation was out of the question. But a few years ago, House Rogarvia disappeared. No one knows how or why, but one day, their manors were just empty, and the force that held Brevoy together, that kept us from a bloody feud, ceased to be. Brevoy is currently ruled by the House Sertova, the former kings of Issia, but their power pales in comparison to that of House Rogarvia when they were here. So now Sertova and Aldori stand facing each other, staring each other in the eye, waiting for the other to draw their sword. It's an untenable situation. No one wants a civil war that would drown Brevoy in blood, but peace between us is also out of the question.
What role do I play in your plans?
Rostland wants to regain its independence, and we will regain it. The power the Issians hold over us is humiliating and costly, and the Sertovas won't give us our freedom without a fight. That is, unless there is some external power that can force everyone to sit down and talk. Do you see where this is going?
Oh, yep.
The Stolen Lands are disputed territory. Brevoy can't appropriate them without raising protests from each of the neighboring states. However, if some brave people were to found independent states on that land, it would be another matter entirely. My hope is that you and your future neighbors, Baron Hannes Drelev and Captain Megar Varn, will become our allies. But even your neutrality would introduce a powerful counterbalance to the aggression of the noble houses. Maybe, with your help, the inevitable division of Brevoy can occur without too much pain.
Don't the Sword Lords have any other foreign allies capable of playing this role?
We hope to get some help from the Maivani Eldori, the descendants of the Sword Lords who have fled from Coral's rage to build a new nation in the south. But the Issians know this well, and are doing everything they can to deny us this help. I won't go into details, but if my intelligence is correct, if a civil war starts in Brevoy, Maivan will be too occupied with its own inner troubles to interfere.
What part does Restov play in this game?
Restov is a free city, proud of its independence from everyone, including the Aldori Sword Lords. But when it comes to Rostland's liberation, our goals align. This whole plan is our joint creation with Lord Mayor Yosef Selmius.
What happens next?
How should I know? We're in the middle of a big game. And today, you move from being merely a piece on the board to being one of the players.
Oh yeah. See, my character is here for a whole bigger other reason that renders these politics useless to me. I need to know them because I'm going to be ruling a barony. But I'm here to fix a much larger issue than this petty political squabble. Thank you for the explanation.
I hope you have a better understanding of what's at stake.
Do you know already about my encounter with Tartuccio?
Of course. Keston gave me a full report. You dealt with the scoundrel perfectly. It would be naive to think that none of your neighbors will try to stick their hands in your affairs. Especially that sly fox Iravetti.
Thank you. I am going to speak to the guests.
Enjoy your evening. When you're ready for the official part, come to me.
Look at all this crap I have now. Man. Alright, let's talk to some people. Jeto. They call this a feast. I'd show them some real festivities if they'd let me. Lindsay. Pour up to the brim so that, oh, I must be drunk. I forgot the line. Keston. Well, Tartuccio. well, scum. And how did we... Maybe I've had one too many. Amiri. Their wine is alright, nice and strong, but the appetizers, barely a mouthful. Trust you. These people are not just celebrating. It seems your feat has given them new hope. Oh.
Will you drink with me?
Of course, to my success.
Oh, yes. There's no wine in the world that tastes as rich as victory. But still, there's nothing wrong in cheering your successes with wine. But jokes aside, I came to apologize. I know the words I said in our conversation with Lady Aldery might have offended you, but this was not my intention. The lessons life has dealt me were not easy. I've learned to be wary of new acquaintances, which is why I've refused to join your party. I hope you will forgive me for this weakness and for my harsh words. And I hope you will hear me out, for I have something to tell you.
Apology accepted. What did you want to tell me?
As it happens, I came across some very valuable information. What brave conqueror of these wild lands wouldn't be intrigued by news of an ancient shrine, possibly full of great treasures? A place such as this was discovered by my old friends from Kadira, and it just so happens to be located in the lands that today become rightfully yours. My friends lack the courage to enter the shrine and seek the treasure, but what will stop us? We who know the taste of battle and have been singed by the same fire.
It sounds tempting, but I'll need to think about it.
Your caution is reasonable. Well, I'm going to visit the capital of your newborn barony anyway. I might rent a house. Find me there if you decide you're interested in my offer. So long, friend. I'll call you so today because soon enough, all you'll be hearing is, Your Grace, Your Grace, Your Grace.
Ragongar and Octavia. Haha, to victory, to freedom. Bottoms up, bottoms up. Yes. Try the eclairs, they're delicious.
Let us be careful.
We have Harem. A feast in times of pestilence, a ludicrous attempt to sink into revere, to digress from contemplating one's own insignificance. Thank you, Harem. Valerie. Truth be told, I'm not really comfortable here. I lost my taste for high society. I also just realized that I should totally take this leather armor. Yeah. We can also level up Harem. Now in the mod, he starts out by being a war priest, a sacred fist war priest. So he's all about unarmed strikes. So we'll do a hit point. We'll do a bonus skill rank partial. We will give him deflect arrows once per round. When you normally be hit by a ranged attack, you can deflect it. He's now getting channel energy, and he has fervor and flurry of blows already. Strength. And then let's give him dodge. Yeah, so he does like +8/+8 and 1d8/4, which is pretty decent. Okay, Hannes Drelev. This man's gorgeous clothes hide rippling muscles beneath them. He looks past your ear, obviously bored. Baron Hannes Drelev, he says offhandedly, emphasizing the word Baron. And you must be the Stag Lord Butcher. I'm sorry, I quite forgot your name. But you took out the Stag Lord and his gang, and so Sword Lord Jumanji is granting you permission to take his place, right? Well, congratulations. My lands lie to the west of yours. I suppose we're neighbors now. Yes, I defeated the Stag Lord. Pray tell, what did you do to deserve your new dominion? A smirk appears on the Baron's face. I don't need to deserve or prove anything. Countless generations of my glorious ancestors have done so for me. If I had a slightly bigger army, Sword Lord Jumanji would have simply given all of the stolen lands to me. Alas, I don't have so many soldiers at my disposal, so she had to urgently make barons of the likes of you and Varn. So you have no army and no special merits. You were just given land for being pretty? Under other circumstances, I'd have you whipped for such words, but let's not ruin Lady Eldori's celebration. If you want to so badly measure merits, we can do so another time. Goodbye. Jerk. Talk to Megar Varn. This man is obviously more comfortable on the battlefield than in the company of nobles. He's well built, but the expensive waistcoat he's wearing doesn't quite fit properly, as though it was borrowed. He has a few pale scars across his face, and his dark hair is drawn into an unkempt ponytail with a few streaks of gray running through it. He greets you with a broad smile and a firm handshake. Let me introduce myself. I am Megar Varn, the new ruler of Dunswork, your neighbor to the east. Like you, I'm about to be a baron. Great job with the Stag Lord, by the way. Not everyone could exterminate a whole gang of bandits with such a small team. How did you earn the title of baron? Truth be told, my team and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Jumanji Eldori needed someone reliable to take and hold territory. I'm the captain of a mercenary team, if that wasn't clear. Varnling Host. Have you heard of us? No? No matter. We've done work for Jumanji before. This time the task was simple. We just waltzed into the area, cleared it, and most brazen monsters, and built a small fort to hold the place. And for that, a barony and land to own. It was a dream job. How do you feel being a noble? Looking at his rich clothes, Varn smirks. Like a pheasant on a plate. I've killed all kinds of monsters, but this is the first time I've so strongly felt like turning away could get me eaten. See that lad? Baron Jelev. He's not like us. Who knows what generation of Baron he is? Didn't even shake my hand. You and me, we're like dirt beneath his boots. That's why those like us, the newly made nobility, need to stick together. Otherwise, he'd take my land and yours in the blink of an eye. It was nice meeting you. Goodbye. Once you've settled in, come pay us a visit. Lander. A handsome, well-dressed young man of about 17 years old looks at you with a polite smile. So you're the famous slayer of the Stag Lord's gang, soon to be a baron? Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Lander. Are you from Restovic nobility? Oh no, I'm not from here. I'm just visiting, you could say. I wanted to see for myself the heroes who managed to conquer the frontier lands. The Lord Mayor was kind enough to invite me to his wonderful party. Truth be told, that's precisely why I wanted to speak with you about. You see, I am an heir to one of Brevoy's noble houses. I won't say which, but believe me, a newly appointed baron with no connections would do well to have a friend like me. I travel the country in secret, without servants, so I can see it for myself. Not from a carriage window, but face to face with the people. My family would never approve, of course, but then I never asked. I need to know Brevoy if I'm going to rule a part of it someday. I know Jumanji wants to impose her stepson on you as an emissary of Brevoy. Refuse. Take me instead. Don't look at my age. While they may have trained this half-orc to swing a sword, I've been training to rule since I was a child. I'll be of far greater use to you, both now and in the future, after I have a firm position in my family. I'll consider your proposal. Yes, do so, and carefully. Yes, I see good old Rustall hasn't changed a bit. Natalia Sertova is discussing something with an unfamiliar old lady in a low voice. Upon noticing you, she breaks into a sugary, sweet smile. You are not only tough, but quick. Well, congratulations on your victory. Enjoy it while you can. And what do you think awaits me? Nothing good, I fear. The Eldori, our dearest friends, didn't deem it necessary to inform you of their plans, I assume. You see, they're preparing to separate from Bavoy. It will not be a peaceful process. They lack the strength currently, hence using this legal loophole to create some independent allies. Once the civil war breaks out, your lands will be the first to endure a strike from Bavoy's forces. Perhaps they'll erect a memorial stone in independent Restov to honor you. Well, I wouldn't count on even that, really. What do you propose? In your situation, the most reasonable course of action would be to align yourself with the lawful rulers of Bavoy, the noble houses. The Eldori won't dare to rebel, knowing they will immediately become entrapped. You could help Bavoy avoid a civil war, while simultaneously enjoying some well-deserved peace in your lands. I believe Jamani has already attempted to impose a guard on you as an emissary. I'm guessing her low-born stepson, the green-skinned boy, Cassil. It's up to you, of course, but I would recommend a different envoy. Please meet Chandra Murvy, an experienced diplomat who's more familiar with Brevoy's politics than any brawler could be. The old woman standing next to Natalia gives you a slight bow. I would be happy to help you establish diplomatic relations with Brevoy. I'll consider your proposal. Think on it. Do not make any hasty decisions. I'm gonna talk to Azvanki. A handsome man with a weather-beaten face grasps your hand tightly in his rough, calloused palms. Unlike the rest of the guests in their festive clothes, he wears a simple robe. The only luxury you see on him is a holy symbol of Aristil, made of solid gold. The other guests look at him with respect, some bordering on awe. Congratulations on your victory. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Azvanki Keeg, High Priest of Aristil and Restov. I saw how you fought beside Jamandi that night. Your god granted you impressive power. Yes, I used to serve Aristil on the battlefield, but those days are long past. Now I call on his power to heal those who've fallen from a roof more often than anyone wounded by a sword. Of course, someone has to roam the forest and slay monsters, but I'm more useful to my congregation here, attending to more mundane affairs like hospitals, shelters, and charity fairs. Bringing law into the Stolen Lands is a difficult endeavor. I would be grateful for any help you could spare. This is a truly noble undertaking. I believe our community will be able to provide you with reasonable assistance. We will help you construct a shrine in your capital, free of charge. Do many people in Restov venerate Aristil? They revere many gods in Restov. They pray to Abadar, patron of cities, and Pharasma, gatherer of souls. There are also some more rare cults. But there's no denying that the Stag God has the largest congregation here, and no wonder people here have lived off farming and hunting for centuries. It's an honor to meet you. We can talk to Yosef Selmius. An older man with full sideburns looks at you with interest through a golden eyeglass. Well now, if it isn't the hero of the festivities, the protege of dear Jamandi. You pulled this all off quite cleverly. I confess, I wasn't convinced your enterprise would succeed. I even bet a bottle of my best potassium wine against you. But I'm happy to admit I was wrong. The Eldori have always been adept at finding new talent. I don't believe we've been introduced. So it would seem, I am Yosef Selmius, Lord Mayor of Restov. I rule this town and the adjacent lands. As your northern neighbor, I hope we can look forward to a long and fruitful friendship. How are things in Restov? I don't want to boast, but things have been going well in recent years. Trade prospers, the population grows, and citizens are happy, although recently, especially after the disappearance of House Rogarvia, more and more troublemakers have been appearing, and people are talking about the most shocking things. But those sorts of rumors aren't worthy of your attention. It was nice meeting you. Please, wait a moment. Your young barony will need resources to establish itself, and from what I've been told, you're somewhat in need of financial assistance. I could organize and supply everything you need for the construction and spread out the costs on extremely favorable terms. I could immediately procure, let's say, 500 cartloads of building supplies. I'm sure that would give you a good start. In exchange, I would ask a small favor. Until you repaid the debt in full, you simply assume the obligation of contracting building services through Restov's Builders Guild. Do we have a deal? Okay. This offer gets you, I think you start with like 400 build points for your kingdom, and then you get 500 more from this deal when you activate it in the kingdom management. It increases the cost of everything that you build after you accept the 500. But if you build your first city first and then go and get the 500, that increased cost isn't going to last very long because it won't take long for you to raise the money and just pay it off everything. I personally think it's worth it. I think the 500 build points is super helpful in the beginning, regardless of what you're doing with it. I think it's very, very helpful. I would be happy to accept your offer. Then it's a deal. I'll get everything in order right away and schedule a delivery immediately. Jamani Eldori.
So, how do you like our little gathering? I hope you've made some useful connections. Shall we move on to the official proceedings?
Before we begin, I'd like to talk about the envoy I'll be taking with me.
My apprentice, Casil Aldori, will go with you, won't he?
Chandra Murvey will be my envoy. Chandra Murvey is awesome. I love her. I love her ideals when you make her a counselor. She's fantastic.
The emissary of House Sertova? Well, perhaps it's for the best. As they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
I'm ready for the ceremony.
Excellent. Stand here. Lords and ladies, today we are here to honor 3 brave people who have done the impossible. They've tamed the stolen lands. Baron Hannes Drelev, the new master of Glenabon, Captain Megar Varn, the conqueror of Dunsword, and finally, the tamer of the Shrike Hills, who put an end to the atrocities of the Stag Lord's bandits. Step forward. On behalf of the people of the free city of Restov, I confer upon you this noble title. Rise, your grace.
Woo! Yeah! Woo!
Victory! The Stag Lord's dead, and the capital of the new barony has been built in place of his fort. That was how the long and challenging taming of the stolen lands began.
Oh, we're nighttime. Hello. Welcome, Your Grace. Kessin salutes you. You can see he's a bit anxious, and it seems he'd rehearsed his speech many times. Let me once again congratulate you on your victory and your new title. Lady Jamandi transferred me here. I am at your disposal. I'm not one to bestow honors, but I want you to know I'm glad to serve you. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of your new capital citizens. The Stag Lord's former stronghold will soon be a thriving city. Word travels fast, and the first settlers have already arrived, with new ones approaching as we speak. While you were visiting Restov, much has been done here. Your benefactors, the Aldori, invested a great deal of resources in rebuilding the city. I stand ready to answer your questions and to show you around the most important sites. Where are my companions? They're all somewhere around here, but I never kept an eye on who went where exactly. Well, I assume Tristian is with Jihad, and you can always find Lindsay. Just follow the noise and turmoil. Are there any citizens I should know about? Our old acquaintance Jihad is right here. Aristotle's clerics normally don't like cities much, but he's eager to serve you. Also, the emissary from Bavoy is here, waiting for you in the throne room. There's also this curious matter. An elf has paid us a visit. A blind elf. Desna only knows how he managed to get here. He seems a peaceful, even pleasant fellow, though naturally a little odd, so I let him stay a while. It's up to you to decide what to do with him now. That's about it, I guess. I'm ready to look around my city. Lead the way. Now, the way your city looks, both now and when it's upgraded later, is different based on your alignment. So each alignment that you have, your barony becomes that alignment, and it changes the look of your city. So I'm lawful neutral, so we have a lawful neutral city, which is one of my favorite designs. Greetings, Your Grace. We are, well, your new subjects. We're selecting a site to build our house. It's wet near the lake and windy up here on the hill. A fine place to throw garbage at your neighbors' heads, though. Ouch. It's a good thing you got rid of those monsters and bandits, Your Grace. I'll let you guys read these blurbs now. I need to rest my voice a little bit. I can breathe fire. Here we go. Doing some kingdom stuff. Bum, ba, da, ba, ba, ba. So now we've reached the main chambers. This is the throne room, where you'll hold court and receive visitors. Let me draw your attention to this large map, depicting your barony and surroundings. We'll mark all the important scout reports and other news worthy of your grace attention. It's good to see you, Your Grace. Chandra Murphy, the emissary of Natalia Sertova, greets you with a brief bow. Let's dispense with the formalities and get straight to business. Oh, yes. As emissary of the Royal House Sertova, I am here to offer you advice and make sure you don't do anything reckless. I hope my experience in diplomacy and policy will be of some aid as you make your first steps as a ruler of the barony. The main thing you should know is that the Baron can solve some of the problems by giving orders to their representatives and advisors, but there are some things you simply can't delegate. Issues of special import, such as complicated court hearings or serious threats to security, will demand your personal presence at the capital. Information about these kinds of events will always appear on the map. Remember that you should visit the capital personally at the beginning of each month. By tradition of Brevoy and most of the river kingdoms, it is then the rulers address the day's most important issues and receive visitors. Today, you should choose candidates for the highest positions in the barony. It is not my place to offer my thoughts on this. Your clerics, Jihad and Tristian, were the first to ask for an audience. I shall leave you to your capable judgment. Be wise, and your rule shall be long and fruitful. See, she's so cool. She's so like, Jamani's like, the Sertovas are bad. And it's like, no, you just want to not be under their rule, and it's in their benefit to not let that happen, so they're gonna fight you on it. That doesn't make them evil. Your Grace, allow me to congratulate you on receiving the title of Baron. I am confident that you will be able to bring order to these troubled lands. Between him and Chandra, I'm like, yes, all of the order. That's my character's here for. Jihad stumbles slightly. Though, to be honest, that isn't exactly what we wanted to speak with you about. Tristian and I have been talking a great deal about what happened at the Temple of the Elk. It doesn't all make sense to us yet, but one thing is clear. There's a powerful curse at work. It corrupted the very essence of that sacred place, steeping it with putrescence. Ugh, I am disgusted with whoever could do this. And now there is a new woe. Tristian and I believe the curse did not simply disperse of its own accord. There is a place near the capital rumored by the locals to be cursed. Tristian and I visited this dreadful place, and we felt the same putrescence as at the Temple of the Elk. What is this place? Where is it? There is a bald hilltop not far from here, to the north of the capital. Its crown is entirely barren of life. The locals believe that rituals glorifying the dark gods were held there, back in the ancient times. There is no longer any trace of such rituals, but the air around the hilltop is heavy to the point of stifling. This place is likely a rotting wound, closed, but not healed. And this wound will undoubtedly open again. Tristan and I felt something approaching, something ominous. The curse will soon return to plague us once more, I swear by Aristil. I will go there as soon as I am able. I would be happy to accompany you, but I would not expect to see anything new there at present. I agree with Tristian. We have been so to this hilltop. It's barren, but filled with a dense atmosphere of unease. Well, what do you suggest? The curse will grow in strength, and we predict it will reach peak of its strength in about 1 month. That's when we should visit the bald hilltop and resolve this issue. For now, we can only wait and prepare. We beg your pardon, Your Grace, for intervening with you getting the grasp of your barony. I'm sure you have more pressing matters at hand right now. Alright, we get to name the lands. The name for the barony, I'm just gonna call it Axis Mundi, our organization's name. Booyah!